Hello and welcome to the Lock-In podcast. My name is Conor Moynihan. I work for Black Knight. We're the web hosting and domains company based in Carlow, and we're all working from home. I'm working and living in West Clare, and the rest of our staff are scattered around various places as well. So far, so good. It's working out quite well. And we don't tend to talk about our work or our business or our products on that, but I will say that I'll mention something at the end of the show today as well, which may be of use to people trying to work from home, and in particular, businesses who are trying to stay alive and survive under level 5 lockdown conditions. One thing I will mention is that the definition of essential retail includes any shop which can operate a click and collect delivery service. In other words, you can work by appointment. And that's one of the things we're working on, is trying to help people do that. But enough about that, enough about business and enough about work. Today, my guest on the show is Áine Leech in Ennistymon. Áine, welcome to the Lock-In podcast.
Hello, Con. Thanks for having me.
Áine, you are someone who works remotely, as do I, and that has led to an interesting story. I read about your story in the Examiner recently. I understand you were on Clare FM radio and you've been on media all over the place talking about this as well. You do your work remotely, and that has allowed you to work from literally anywhere. So tell me, please, where you've decided to move to and how it compares to where you were before now.
So myself, my boyfriend and our good friend have decided to pack up our bags. We were all in Dublin, pack up our bags and move to the gorgeous Ennistymon, County Clare. So we're in what was Willie Daly's bar. Willie Daly, that was is the famous matchmaker of County Clare. So we moved into his bar. It's a bar on the bottom floor and living space up top. We're not sleeping on a bar here. So we're working from Willie Daly's bar, which is surreal to say, but something I really enjoy telling people now.
When did you do this?
So we moved in just in time for the level 5 lockdown. So to give you a bit of background, I actually had handed in my notice to start my freelance career at the very start of the pandemic. So I had handed it in, the pandemic hit. It was kind of like, oh, do I go back? Do I stay? What do I do? So I was kind of on this journey of like working from home regardless of the pandemic anyway. So I was kind of like, do I like working from home? I don't know. I'm kind of sleeping in the same place, waking up in the same place. I've kind of done Dublin now. We've done it enough. And myself and Kymann had been on a trip out to Mayo there recently. And we were like, why? Before lockdown, obviously. And we were like, why are we in Dublin for this pandemic? Like, we could be sea swimming every day, we could be having the life of Riley. So Kymann had been avidly looking on Daft, and one day he just saw this pub and he was like, there's no way this pub is a livable one and that like we could live in it potentially. So himself and our good friend Jeremy got their thinking caps on and they were like, feck it, like why don't we not just move to Ennistymon? And at this point I was like, okay, it's still a pipe dream now. And so they came down and they knew they were going to fall in love with the pub. They'd seen all the pictures, but and they knew they'd fall in love with Clare. Obviously we've been to Lahinch. We actually spent Kymmann's birthday in Liscannor last weekend, but couldn't believe how much they fell in love with Ennistymon. And they came back and they were like, you're going to die when you see Ennistymon. And of course I did die, and now I'm in heaven.
It's a lovely story. Where were you before, Áine?
So I'm originally from Westmead, and so is Kymann. And myself, Kymann and Jeremy are all actually based in Kymann, and we're all neighbours in Kymann, County Dublin. So that's where we usually are. So it's a long way from Clare to here, as they say, but it's quite the journey.
Yeah. So you've taken over the lease of Daly's bar in Ennistymon. What street is it? On the main street there in Ennistymon?
Main Street, Ennistymon. We're actually. I'm looking at Eugene's bar across the road from me right now.
And can I ask you? I mean, how would I put it? It's one of the things that struck me was pubs opened briefly. The wet pubs, as they're called, opened very briefly there in the interlude, I suppose. And then level 5 came in. They're all locked down. And then I see a story in the paper about here's 3 people arrived in Ennistymon to take over a pub when all the pubs are shut. How's that going for you?
So it's funny actually as well. I think people are afraid nearly we've closed the doors on Dalys, but Dalys had actually closed down before the pandemic. So Dalys had shut its doors in January, and the owner, I think, was trying to find out what to do, and he was looking for creatives to move in. So we so happen to be those creatives. We're all digital creatives, for want of a better word. I'm in social media, Kyman's in production, and Jeremy actually does the communications and PR basically for the US Embassy over here. So we're all kind of digitally creative minded. And when we moved into the pub, like, yes, we were going to move in for the crack and sheer story of moving into a pub, but we also wanted to turn it into a creative space. So as much as we would love to open the doors and have it as a pub, we actually can't. There's like fire regulations and all that kind of stuff. But so we want to use it as a creative space. It was such a great trad bar, as I'm sure you probably know. You've probably been to Dalys before. And we want to like bring that trad back to life, maybe virtually now when restrictions are happening. So whether it's trad, whether it's music, like two doors down is a fabulous artist, Emma Doyle. So it's just, how can we do that virtually in this iconic space?
It's interesting. I mean, North Clare, Ennistymon, Dublin, Liscannor, Lisdoonvarna attracts a lot of creative people, and there already are a lot of creative people there already, and there's a very strong tradition, which I think proves to be a fertile ground for people to come. There's all kinds of people living there in North Clare. What kind of welcome have you got from the community there?
Well, that's what I was just actually going to say. That's part of the reason we fell in love with Ennistymon, is we couldn't believe how artistic. Like when you walk down the street, it's like art gallery, which is incredible. Like we love that. And when we say we're going to come in here and try to like turn it into a creative space, we want to be part of the community, you know. We want it to be collaborative. Like we want local artists and we want local trad music and that. And the welcome here has just been like, we were blown away, because we were nearly thinking, because I'm from rural Ireland, the lads prepped, I was like, you know, like we look like blow-ins. I was like, I'm used to blow-ins now in Westmeath, and now I am going to be the blow-in. So I was like, we have to make sure that we're not just stomping around here. And we didn't. We made sure to. We were straight into Eugene's the first night when that was still open. We've been up in the cheese press, like Sinead, I feel, is like the local news bulletin, and she's been introducing us to everyone, which is amazing. And we set up an Instagram there called Dalys.Ennistymon, and the amount of comments we've gotten are so lovely. And Willie Daly's daughters and granddaughters have actually reached out to us, which we were floored by. We're like, we're not ready. But they were so lovely, and they were telling us all different stories that happened here. So like, we're just blown away. We couldn't be more thankful of the welcome we've gotten.
How's the broadband?
Oh, now I'm just shocked that this has been going so well so far. That's why I nearly feel like I'm back in Westmeath, back at my parents' home with the broadband at times. It's not great. It's not great. I think we set it up. We managed to get one of those, you know, those little Vodafone dongles. Yes. We got one of them, and it's trial and error. But this is the best we've got so far, which is better than nothing.
Very good. No, because I even saw an article in the Irish Times, I think last week, about people who are able to work remotely in one way or another, and who have decided, okay, we don't have to stay in Dublin, we don't have to pay Dublin rent, we can go to Lanzarote, we can go to Cyprus, we can go to someplace like that. A lot of people heading for the sun. What brought you? Why did it have to be the west of Ireland for you guys?
Well, why did it have to be the west? I think, you know, a lot of friends asked me this anyway, because even before the pub, because we were, I feel like basically the pandemic brought out Irish travel in a lot of people, and it was like that staycation kind of thing, which I remember thinking, have people not been doing this anyway? Like all my childhood holidays and that would have been at home in Ireland, like whether it was Cork or the West, whatever. And I just think Clare has something so special about it. Like everything around us, like we're a few minutes from the Cliffs, we're a few minutes from Lahinch, it's an artistic town. And we all fell in love with swimming this summer. It was kind of like our meditation during the pandemic. So where we were in Dublin, it was like nearly a 45-minute drive, and hoping you're not stuck in traffic, you know. Whereas like we could run to Lahinch if we wanted for a swim, which is just incredible. We could obviously, of course, have packed our bags and gone abroad, but I think I think we're all still a bit home birds as well
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
same time, and kind of hoping like if restrictions lift, you can like run home back to mommy for a night
yeah,
and back off to Clare then.
yeah. And of course, Lahinch is within your 5K there. Is it from Ennistymon? I think just
It
about.
is it's just about, I think
Yeah,
it's 3 point something, which
yeah.
like I say we could run. The lads ran once. I
Mm.
would walk to Lahinch and then be like, can we get a taxi back?
Yeah. And I saw from your Instagram, and it's something that I've noticed is a kind of a movement with a lot of people who enjoy swimming and enjoy swimming for exercise and that as well. I was going to the pool up until a couple of weeks ago. Level 5 come in, and the pool and the gyms are closed again. But wild swimming is seeing a resurgence, I think, in Ireland, or seeing
Yeah.
a renewed interest. Somebody said almost 400% rise in interest in wild swimming in Ireland and Britain at the moment. So what's the water like in Lahinch these days?
Well, I am convinced, now it is Baltic, but I'm convinced it's somehow warmer than Dublin. I think it's the waves distract us here, because in Dublin it's so still. We go swimming at the Bico and Dalky, and if you get on a good day, it's basically like being in a swimming pool, you know. Whereas I think because you're being so distracted by being bashed around here, you don't realise how cold it is. But it's funny that my parents would say I'm mad for going swimming here every day,
In
and then
November.
still my father's sending me like pictures of articles going, this is the best thing you could do for your mental health and you'll stay young forever. And I'm like, I'll have you convinced yet.
Excellent. What's the long-term plan, Áine? I mean, in a way, it's probably not a fair question to ask any of us at the moment. There's so much uncertainty. Nobody knows if things are going to return to normal, when they'll return to normal, or if normal will ever be normal again. What is? So let me say, what's your medium-term plan? How long are you hoping to stay in Ennistymon? Are you hoping to continue to do the remote work that you do, as well as hopefully develop some kind of a centre and some kind of an activity for yourselves in Dalys Bar?
Yeah, so it is a long-term lease, so it's almost a year for now anyway. And yeah, I suppose it is that hard question of like even the small term plans. Like we would love to have like a virtual gig in here, but like even with current restrictions, we couldn't even have a band in here right now, you know. So we'd have to wait till they lift, get a band in, and it's trying to like step by step plan for all scenarios, I suppose. But the big plan is to have this as some form of creative space, whether that's virtually or ticketed event or whatever it is. We'll find a way to do it.
All right. Well, I think it's actually a great idea of buying Irish, shopping local, living local, staying local, and maybe I suppose supporting the best that local communities have to offer. Áine, it's been lovely talking to you, and I wish you every success in Dalys, and on behalf of one Clare blow into another, welcome to County Clare.
Thanks so much, Con. Thank you.
That's Áine Leech, who is one of 3 people who've taken over Dalys Bar in Ennistymon at the moment. And you can find out more on their Instagram. We'll put the link to it on the video version of this podcast as well. It's dalys.ennistymon, I think. Is that right, Áine?
That's right.
That's right. Dalys.ennistymon is the handle on Instagram, and you can find out all about them. They're already posting content and things like that there as well. Just wanted to mention, work-wise, we are introducing new products here at Black Knight because local businesses are going online in droves. Our message is shop local, buy Irish, shop safe, and shop Irish online as much as you can. And those opportunities are easier than ever for people to do. Whether it's just a simple click and collect service, whether you're making an opportunity for somebody to book something for collection, a takeaway order, a groceries order, you can meet them at the door, put it in the boot of their car or whatever it may be. If you give us a call in Carlow, we'll put the number up here as well. I can never remember it, but we'll put it up, or you can check us out at blackknight.com, and we'll even build a site for you. We've got a new site up and running for that and offering new packages, and you can find out more about those as well at bk.ie/buildmysite. Sinna bhfuil an trása be the County live on Tacht and Chichuing. Apologies we had no podcast last week. It was a bank holiday week, and also I did have one scheduled, but I missed it. So next week we will have one for you right on time next Wednesday. Good evening, slán go fóill.